tuning in. This was awesome. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Can We Talk? I'm Janae, your host of the show, and we're gonna be talking about, you know what? Insecure. Episode 6, season 4. I got my notes, y'all. I got my notes. I hope you do too. So let's get right into it. The episode kicks off. It's the morning after the big fight at Issa's wonderful event. Issa and Molly went head to head, you know, screaming at each other, acting real black, real ghetto at the people barbecue community cookout event Issa finally put together. And we see Issa laying in the bed and she's playing back what Molly said to her. And Molly's like, I always knew you was a using ass bitch and you ain't never been nothing and blah, 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 blah. And you could see it's actually, you know, it's getting to Issa. And I really thought that was a cool thing for the writers and the producer and the director to do, because after you have a big fallout with somebody, anybody that you really care about, like you really do play that shit back in your head. You be really like, damn, am I really that way? Did they really just say that to me? Like, how did we get here? Ooh. Like, it really was some real shit that they showed. And I was really happy that the writers decided to do that, because that was a real moment. And so you see Issa, you know, then she's listening to voice messages on her phone. And it was another cool thing. And my boyfriend, he pointed that out, that I thought that was really cool, is that instead of watching the video, you heard the audio. Instead of hearing the audio, you watched the video of the people who were calling her. So that was really cool too, to see like what her brother was doing, what her intern was doing, what Kelly was doing as they were, leaving her messages. And Issa's just like going through the motions. And she goes into the bathroom and she talks to our favorite mirror bitch, which is her alter ego, is her reflection, who seems to be like Issa, but not quite like Issa. Like she's like hood Issa. So she kind of helps Issa to realize that, no, you shouldn't call Molly. Don't you know you always calling her, you always apologizing. And honestly, you know, for anybody who's been in that situation, I know I have been, sometimes you take a step back and you're like, I'm not doing this again. I'm not apologizing. I wasn't wrong. This person needs to see that they were wrong, and they need to apologize. So that was cool that they went into that and they showed Issa interacting with Mirror Bae or Mirror Bitch. So she's cleaning up the house. She's doing self-care Sunday. And guess who calls, y'all? You know it. Ghost Bae. Nathan calls, our favorite barber in South Central LA. He's cutting some little kid hair with blue hair looking like a snow cone. And he's calling to check up on Issa. And I thought that was really sweet. I feel like Nathan is really trying to get back in with Issa. He wants to kind of show her that he's changed. He probably going to therapy, you know, joined a yoga crew to calm his nerves. And he's trying to show her like, hey, I'm here for you. And Issa, you could see that what Molly said to her got to her, because she's like, hey, I just want you to know I didn't use you and I would do this for you too. You know I would help you too. And she's like, that's not how I wanted to reconnect with you. And he like, girl, don't sweat that shit. Like, we cool. You needed help and I wanted to help. And I thought that was really good that Nathan said that, because that line hit home for me. It was like, friends do that. It's not you using a friend. It's you're my homie. We cool. You needed help. I can help, so I'm going to help. And I think that was a fucked up thing that Molly did, that we, you know, even though I get it, she always saying Issa mess up stuff, but it's still, you help your friend. Maybe you could have put boundaries on how you helped her, Molly. Maybe you could have said, hey, girl, don't you mess this up for me and my good man. Finally got him on the leash. I finally got a man to care about me. I don't need you messing this up. Please for me and for my relationship. I'm just letting you know. And Molly didn't do that. She's just like, nah, girl, you could struggle, you could sink, you could fail. So I thought that was kind of fucked up, but it was really cool that Nathan showed her like, no, if you care about somebody, then you help them. Also at the barbershop, it was really cool to see Instagram comedian, you know, stand-up comedian Ryan Davis Comedy. He made a little cameo at the barbershop. He was talking to Nathan, talking about he gonna eat a sandwich. He had hair in his. So that was real cute to see him make his HBO debut. So Issa cleaned up her apartment and now she's in the grocery store. This is the next scene. And this part of the show was funny because you could see this random pregnant hoe just begging for stuff, begging for people to. I thought she was asking people to skip the line because pregnant women, they be always talking about their feet hurt. So I'm like, okay, this girl trying to skip the line, and you could see Mirror Bitch telling Issa, "Girl, don't do it, don't do it, no, no, no." And Issa like, nope. She's like, I feel like Issa was really trying to prove to herself that she's a good person. Like, I'm not a user, I help people. So Issa let the pregnant girl come skip her, and she's like, I got you. And the girl complimented her, and Issa card declined. Poor Issa. And the girl shades her. I'm like, are you serious? You begging people, and now you got the nerve to shade me? I would have threw them fucking groceries right at the back of her pregnant head. I'm sorry, but you're not finna try me, pregnant hoe. And then you see Issa like, girl, she ain't need all that anyway. I just feel like begging people always be the rudest people. You ever gave something to somebody who really needed it? No shade to the homeless people or the people, as they say, temporarily without shelter. That's the new term to call it. But some of them be rude as fuck. If you ever, I had a few of them tell me that the money I gave them wasn't enough, but that's neither here nor there. So we gonna move right along. Issa still feeling like she want to save the world. Word to Bone Thugs and Harmony. And she see this old man running down the street. He missed the bus. Now she feeling like, okay, I'm finna help him. And she stops the goddamn car to help some random man. Now, I was gonna say I ain't never do this before, but let me give you a little story time. So in college, I was really, really on my let's go to church, let's save the world. And I seen this old lady walking down the street in my house. And I stopped to give her a ride. I'm like, hey, old lady, come get in the car with me. And that lady was like, no. And she did not get in the car. And I was like, all right, then I get it. But here's the thing. It was just me in the car. I was in a little raggedy putt-putt. I used to drive a little Mitsubishi Galant back in the day in college. And I don't know. I know I had just woke up. Maybe I had dropped my mom off to the bus stop or something. And so I'm in the kindness of my heart, I'm like, if this was my grandma and she was this close to her house, I would want somebody to, take her, and I'm trying to do the nice thing. And that lady looked at me. My hair was disheveled. I had on some house clothes. She probably like, I don't know who this bitch, what drug she on, but I'm not hopping in this car. And she really popped my little bubble. I was like, well, I guess I don't need to be offering rides to random old people. So when I thought about it, I was like, today me wouldn't do that. But I definitely have been that person in the past to try to help people because, my mom and my grandma used to catch the bus all the time. And anytime I see somebody running and miss the bus, a little special place in my heart, I just be feeling so bad. Like I really be rooting for them. Like, please catch that bus. But I wouldn't have let George ass in my car. So he get in the car acting crazy, telling jokes. And I died laughing when he called Issa a lizard. He talking about something, it's so damn cold in this car. I said, this man got jokes. He acting real crazy in this car. And I'm like, Issa, it's gonna be looking for Issa next. You picking up random bitches in South Central LA. Like, girl, we don't do that in our 30s. Oh, no. We say a prayer. We may throw a little coin out the window, but we is not picking up people randomly. And so her and George, they're driving in the car. And then he's like talking to her about like random stuff. And he goes into a conversation about his friends. And throughout all his craziness, he kind of dropped a little gem for Issa. And he was like, people, you always see the signs that shit is fucked up. Or you always see the signs that something's going to be messed up. And Issa kind of pauses and thinks about that. And she's like, And I feel like they put that nugget in there as the writers of like maybe Issa's pondering like were there signs that her and Molly was going to, have this fallout or things are going to go bad. And so that was that place where Issa could reflect. And for me, I liked how the writers are really probably pulling on some personal experiences. I would love to know the stories behind it because it's like when you go through those things with friends and you like replay stuff back in your mind, you like, were there always signs? Did Keisha always step on my foot when we used to go in the club and never say sorry? Did Jerome always use the aux cord and never let me pick a song? Like you start thinking about stupid petty shit to see if you always had a problem with somebody. And I think that was cool that they put that in the show. And Issa drops off the man and rushes to paint and sip. Now, If you watched Paint and Sip, whoo, child, that scene was the ultimate bait switch psych out by the writers. So Issa, she brought her little Rossi wine with her, and she's with the girls. And she meet this new group of girls, 3 girls, at this Paint and Sip. And they like, yeah, girl, come sit with us. We ain't doing nothing. Hey, hey, hey. And we see our 90s, early 2000 favorite, Kyla Pratt, is a part of the girls group. And she's this soon-to-be wife. Her name is Dina in the show. And she's in LA for her bridal shower. And they, she got a little crown on her head. And the girls, they acting all fun with her. And they talking about all their instances, how they, fell out and got back together. And they made a little point and said, we always found our way back. And so I thought that was another nugget for the writers to say, hey, maybe, hitting that maybe Molly and Issa are going to come back together. And so they having fun at the Paint and Sip. They invite Issa to go get a drink. And when I watched the episode for like the second or third time, I'm like, this is the part when Issa should have walked away and she shouldn't have went. And I thought this was really cool. And I don't know if any of y'all felt that way too, but I've been in situations where I've had like really close homegirls where we fell out. And I remember trying to find a new crew and trying to gel with people and maybe forcing it and maybe it wasn't organic. And I kind of felt like that's what it was. And sometimes you go in, without really knowing people and having all these expectations and coming on too hard. And you like, ooh, you so thirsty for a new friendship that you like, okay, I'm finna just rock with these hoes. And you don't really know them. You don't know what their intentions are. You don't know if they're good people, bad people, or what. So I thought that was a really funny way for the writers to show that to us. So Issa at the restaurant, girl go with her in the bathroom and she disappear. And at that moment, we knew that Issa had done fucked up. And child, Issa get out the bathroom and she see the little list for the things that they trying to mark off their list for their bridal shower, and Dine the Dash and Befriend a Stranger is on there, and Issa's looking stupid. And I felt so bad for Issa. And I really wanted Issa to have ran up on him. I wanted that fake scene to be real. I wanted Issa to get her revenge and be like, I'm tired of you hoes trying me. It was fake. And you know how I knew it was fake though? Because ain't no way you finna run up on 3 black girls and they don't jump your ass. Issa, I knew you wasn't just gonna hit nobody with no painting and ain't get jumped. And you like, oh girl, welcome to LA. No, bitch, they would have welcomed your ass to DC and PG County right on that sidewalk. Ain't no way you running up on me and my friends and hitting us with something and you by yourself. Oh no, man, we finna jump you. We finna stump the yard with you. But what I would have did was I would have rolled up on them hoes if it was real, threw something out my car at them, threw some pennies, some quarters out my change, cussed them out and rolled off, because ain't much I could do. And I can't flash a gun. You're going to jail. It's only so much you could do. You got embarrassed. You got gooped. So Issa having a horrible day, and she finally calls her mama or answer for her mama. And her mama is none other than Wendy Raquel Robinson. I got to say that correctly because we love Queen Regina, Some of y'all know her as Tasha Mack from The Game, but she will forever be Miss Piggy Greer from the Steve Harvey Show. That's why I know her with them banging suits, fresh shortcut. Yes, the Principal Greer. Yes, I love Boss Lady. I love her forever. So that was really cool to see her. And this season, I love that Issa and Prentice Penny, the showrunner, is allowing, the black 90s women actors, female actors come on the show when they have their shine, because you got Lovita, Alizé Jenkins, the duo from the Steve Harvey Show. She's in the Find a LaToya. You got I see Regina is in the next episode with Molly Go Out of Town. And you seeing all these people from the 90s that she's giving these little, roles to. And I love that. Like, yes, girl, show the people who paved the way for you. Give them a new job. Give them some coins. Give them their things. Give them their flowers. I love that. That's a great way to pay homage to them. And so we see Issa. She's talking to her mom. And her mom said something that I really, really liked. She's like, Issa, I always knew you were great. I always admired you. And Issa was like, dang, Mom, I didn't know you admired me. You used to throw shade at me. She's like, no, girl, I admired you. They had a really real moment. And another deep moment when she was with her mom, is that they hugged. And Issa finally felt like she could release and let go and be like, oh my gosh, I had the worst shitty days, probably all the weight of the world from planning that event. Molly, the day with the girls, like she just kind of let it all out and she sobbed with her mom. And it was a beautiful moment. I would say this, watching it, I didn't necessarily feel the feels, and it wasn't because Issa didn't display a moving scene. It's just that I just couldn't relate. Like, I've never hugged my mama and cried on her shoulder. It's just not a part of our relationship. So for me, I couldn't really relate to that. But I saw a lot of people on Twitter talking about it, like how, deep a moving that was and how it is, when you had a rough time, how your mama could be there for you. So I couldn't relate. I'm sorry, but it is cool if you have like a mother figure or a mentor figure or auntie, somebody when you had a long, rough week, some issues, and you go and cry on their shoulder. I do have an auntie and a mentor that I go to for those things, and I guess I could relate to it in that way. So Issa finally answered the phone for Kelly, and Kelly like, damn, bitch, you been ignoring me like you my biological father. And I died. Kelly always gives us the one-liners that we need. And I'm cracking up because it's so, it was a sad truth for a lot of us, myself included. But Kelly always gives us the lines and the jokes. And she tells Issa, have you called Molly? And I ain't like that. Kelly, I'm just so tired of us. I'm just so tired of us always making the victim have to do the work to fix the problem when they didn't break it. And the person who is the perpetrator, who fucked everything up, who messed everything up, we never hold them accountable. We never go on them and say, hey, you need to fix this. You fucked this up. You were wrong. You came to that girl event and got on her face. You were wrong. That wasn't a time or the place. Molly, you wrong. You need to fix this. You need to call her. I think what a friend should do is tell Issa, hey, you be receptive to that call. Don't keep a wall up. If she does reach out, you speak to her. I think that's a conversation that needs to be had. It doesn't need to be, Issa, you need to reach out to Molly. And I think it's also because people want to stay neutral in those situations. I get it. Kelly's friends with both. And I also think sometimes people see it as, oh, well, both of y'all was wrong. Y'all both was fussing at each other, versus seeing it as Issa reacting to Molly disrespecting her. And I think that's the lens that a lot of people don't do. And it was interesting that they showed that in the show. I like it. It's just so real because that actually happened to me too. I fell out with people. They were wrong. And people were like, you need to make it right. And I'm like, but I didn't break this. No, you need to call him. No, I don't need to call him. I'm always calling him. Why don't you tell them? And I love Issa said that. Did you have the same conversation with Molly? And she's like, yeah, I did. Well, you need to stay on it with Molly until she calls me. Don't tell me to call her. Tell me to be open and receptive. Tell me to be willing and be forgiving and be humble and mature enough to have that conversation. But don't tell me to reach out. Don't tell me to dishonor myself. Word to Ayanna Van Zant, who always tell us that. Don't dishonor yourself, beloved, to help have somebody in your life. If they want to be there, they'll do the work and they'll come to you. And so Issa decides to go get some food, and they take us, I love this, they take us back to the first restaurant that we see Issa and Molly in. I think it's actually the first scene because I'm an Insecure stan. And they're at this Ethiopian restaurant in the first season, and Issa and Molly are eating, and they're talking about their life. And that's when Molly said she had a broken pussy. If y'all remember, that's the first episode, season 1, episode 1. So it was crazy that they took us full circle to that restaurant and to see them now in a place where they're not even talking to each other. And Issa walks to the door, and Mirror bitch, Issa's alter ego, is looking at her like, what you gonna do, girl? And Issa decides not to go in. And I understand that. I get it. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. It's the day after. You ain't ready to have that type of energy, that interaction. And you see her on her phone. She having a good time. Although I don't think that's fair because you don't know what she's going through and how she really feels. But I get why Issa didn't go in there. She probably like, I want to preserve my energy. And I don't feel like having this conversation right now. I just came in here for some Ethiopian food, not to have a fix my life moment. And, I guess she probably like, I'm not finna want to be in a place where this girl gonna get me to apologize to her. Like, I want her to do that work. I want her to reach out to me. Now, I would have walked in there and paid the bitch no mind, paid her dust. Nothing. I don't see you. Don't speak to me. I don't know you. I'm not here. You're not here. We're just two separate spaces, two separate people. I don't know you. Don't speak to me. Nope. Eat your little food and I'm going to do what I'm doing and you do what you're doing. I would have ignored the shit out of her. I did that before too at a wedding. I don't know you. I don't know you no more. Don't speak to me. I'm not speaking to you. I'm a two-step right over here by myself. I don't know you, sir or ma'am. But that's what I would have did. A little petty, but still. All in all, the episode was cool. When I first watched it, I really felt flat. I felt like it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to see a Molly and Issa, square up. Bitch, what? I wanted to see them in front of We Got Y'all, pulling hair. Bitch, this round 2. What you got? No, I'm just playing. I didn't want to see that. But I did want to see them, have an interaction and talk about it. But, the writers are letting the story breathe, the move along. So after I thought about it, I was like, I get it, because actually that was real life. After a big blow up, sometimes you don't get right back into it. As time goes by, you ain't talking to the person right away. So I like how they did that. And, Insecure this season, they got me on my toes and I'm loving every minute of it. And I'm glad that y'all are here watching with me as I review this episode and taking this journey along as we see two friends try to figure it out. So that's the end. We're all done. Thank y'all for watching. I hope you got your notes still. Looking at them. You'll be here next week with more notes, and we'll be talking about Insecure. Also, remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on social media, High Low News. We're on all the platforms. The link is in the description. I'm your host, Janae Tate, and this is Can We Talk? Thank you for watching Can We Talk, and I'll see you next week. Bye.